Hello and welcome to day 44 in this quest for a 2000 rating on chess.com. So let's find an opponent and begin here. Alright, so we have the black pieces and we're playing against a 1537. So let's see here. We'll play knight to f6. Alright, and then let's see, we'll go ahead, get ready to castle. Alright, so what is this? The Tory attack. Alright, well, I guess we'll just go there. And now, should we try something different by doubling our pawns? We'll do that. Maybe that'll throw them off a little bit. It'll help defend. And all right, so now we can push that forward to kind of control this e4 square. All right, then we'll go there and we'll get a good lockdown on that square. All right, and we probably should go ahead and try and control this square. Okay, it looks like we can go ahead and castle. Oh, now, is he going to try and push forward there? He could try that. And then, all right, well, just go there. And putting our rook on this half open file should be good. All right, so he is going to try and push forward there. All right. So should we go there? Try and fortify that. And then maybe, well, I don't know if I want to jump up there or not. All right, well, we can go that way. Try and put some pressure on the position. We're attacking this pawn, so then, maybe we go there and capture. All right, so they capture. We're going to go ahead, capture towards the center, activate that knight. Then maybe we can bring our, well, I don't know. He still could try and bring his knight down here and cause a problem. I guess, then we could chase it away. All right. Well, that would leave us with an isolated pawn there if we do that. So why don't we just develop that bishop to there? And so what will he try and do now? He could, maybe bring his queen up here. Will he try and get rid of our... he could try and knock our knight out of there. Then if we capture, he could try and bring his other knight here, and try and get a knight lodged in here on e4. But at least we have this f pawn that could chase the knight out of there. So what else is he looking to do? Maybe start pushing these pawns forward. Possibly just develop his rook. Okay, so he comes around that way. All right. He should try and get rid of our bishop pair. So what can we do? How can we drum up some type of play? Do we just develop here? Then if he moves forward, I don't know. Let's see. So now this is going to be a turning point. Could go here and keep the knight out, but then this pawn would become kind of weak here and it would block our queen. So, and if he jumps in here, we could retreat back and then chase him away, I guess. All right. And do we want to try and chase that bishop by dropping back here? Then he might just trade off here. And then also there's a chance he attacks over here. Do we just force him? I don't know. I'm worried about dropping this back. I'm worried about pushing this pawn forward and attacking, and then having this backwards pawn here. Should we just drop back and attack now? All right, we'll just do that and attack. Okay. Well, now would it be better to capture with the rook and leave that? Probably better to capture with the rook. We'll leave this extra pawn here for defense. But if we capture with the rook, he could come down. No, he can't go down there. Okay, so we'll do that. Okay, but then he attacks this way. All right, so we'll go there. Just see what he does next. All right. Well, okay, so looks like we have to watch out for this knight, try and kick it out of there. So maybe we jump here, retreat our knight back, attacking him. So I don't know, maybe that looks good. All right, now why would he do that? Oh, to put more pressure there. All right. Well, guess we go there. To help fortify this pawn. But we do have to watch out, because if we go here, we have to watch out that we don't recapture with our queen, because then, oh no, I guess that still works. We're still okay. I was thinking that there was a threat of a rook capturing this pawn, and if this rook is unprotected, then we can't, this pawn would be pinned and they could capture this rook. But all right, so now he's going to try and cause problems that way. So I say we retreat back. So we'll go ahead and do that. Okay, so dropping our knight back here, retreating helps cover e5 and c5. So let's see what they come up with next. They could just jump in here, or here more likely, but we have 3 defenders of that square, so they would need to pile something else in there to help with their to help cover e5 if they jump a knight in here, because if they put a knight in here, we would capture, they would capture, our bishop could capture. All right, so they're going to do that, which we'll go ahead and do that. And then let's see. I guess we could he's going to try and push forward here. So all right. So we have a fight building up around this central area, and what should we do here? I mean, I guess we could just move up here and attack his queen. Then what does he do? He could move out of the way. And then what have we achieved? Anything? If we move here, if he captures, we capture and we chase his rook, but we have doubled pawns then. So I don't know if I'm liking that. Do we centralize our queen up to here to help cover this? Or do we go here? All right, if we go here and they capture, we drive this. We'll go here. At least we attack their queen. All right, so we drive their rook back, and then Well, now he's just going to go after that. So we probably need to go forward here. So we'll just do that. And that'll kind of restrict him. And now he can't move this pawn forward anytime soon because we're kind of lined up on his... We're lined up on his pawn and his rook with our bishop. But I don't know. We're probably going to have to push forward here to keep his knight out of this area and then try and swing our bishop onto this diagonal, probably. So, okay. So now he's threatening to push that forward. All right, so we probably have to go here to block it now. So we'll go ahead and block. All right. Now, should we move up here? That's a possibility. To block that, because if he pushes, we're going to end up with just messed up pawns here. All right. It looks good to just go ahead, do this. But I don't know. Now he could try and drop his knight back, bring his knight here to d3, and then try and bring his knight over here. Okay. Let's go here. Keep his knight out of there. Then we can swing our bishop over to another location. Okay. So he wants to do that. Do we want to trade here or not? Probably not. I mean, we could just move over to here. Which looks okay. So we'll just go ahead and do that. See what they decide next. So if they capture, we just recapture. All right, so now they want to try that. All right. Well, probably best is to reposition our bishop over here and attack him. Okay, so now we're pretty much forced to do that. And now it's kind of tricky. Will he jump in? Well, he can't jump in here because of our bishop now. Okay, this is what I was afraid of. Him trying to jump down to here. All right, well, we should probably just start activating our king. So we'll go ahead and do that. Oh, now he could try and jump over here. So, what would be best? Do we go here to keep him out? We'll go there to keep him out. Our bishop covers the other squares, but we probably need to centralize this bishop. but I'm kind of worried about putting the bishop up here and like blocking the scope of my rook. All right. And we probably need to make this bishop more active if we can. And also, should I push this pawn up here? Try and get them. I can't at the moment because the rook is keeping an eye on that. So probably bring my bishop up here. Would be good. At least we've limited the scope of his. All right. Well, now he could threaten to go there. All right. So, he's probably just going to go there. We probably need to go ahead and do this. If he pushes here, okay, let's look at this threat. So if he just goes here, then attacks and we attack, then he'll have our rook kind of trapped in here. So we probably need to move our rook. Swing our rook down where it's more active. Do I want to go all the way back here? All right, anyway, we'll do that for now. Okay. Now, do I move my king up here? Probably. Just move this king up. Okay, I can ignore that. And or do I push? No, we can't do that. All right, so we need to activate this rook, but where would be best? Maybe swing down to here and get ready to swing over to the other side, to the A file, this half open A file. All right, what will they try to do next here? At least our bishop is keeping him out of there. Okay, so we just capture there. Then maybe we can bring our bishop up here. All right. So if they go with that, what should we do next? We're kind of, our options are being limited here. Hmm. Hmm. All right. All right. Well, do we swing over there? Swing over there. He'll just push forward though. All right. And now, do we jump our bishop up to here? Like this. I don't know. Unless he gets some counterplay over here, it's looking kind of drawish. At least with our bishop here, it controls a lot of important squares. All right. Well, what does he do next? Just start pushing these pawns and try and create something, some kind of counterplay over here? You know, I guess we could push forward here. Because our bishop is doing a good job of covering everything. But if we push forward and he jumps here and we capture, what does he do? Capture this way, then check us? All right, well, so what is he thinking? He can't. Okay, so he decides to go there. Do we lock things up over here? Do we capture? Probably best to just push forward. If we capture, he captures. Which way would he capture? Does he capture towards the center or not? Let's see here. Okay, so this is a big decision. If we capture the pawn, he has three options. I guess he could capture with his knight, but I don't know. Maybe we just push forward. Well, then he could try and pile up on this unprotected piece over here. We'll just go ahead and capture and see what he does. If he captures this way, he's got a backwards pawn. You know, if he captures towards the center, our rook, I guess, could move over here and try and cause problems. Okay, so is that what we want to do? Do we want to swing over here and attack his king? We'll just go ahead and do that. All right, so now might as well go over here, and then we can try and attack his king go after this pawn. Oh, but that wouldn't work because he has a threat of a check here. All right, so yeah, I don't know if you see that. If we, okay, so finally he jumps up here. All right, well, I guess we have to capture. Will he come forward with his rook? That would help us because then we could check his king and then go after this pawn. So he'll probably capture towards the center with his other pawn. Okay, so he does that. All right. Well, rooks need to be active, so we should probably just take control of this file right here. But then his king can move up there. All right. If I check him, all right, let's jump up this way, try and go after him. He's going to try and take control of this open file. Maybe swing down here, move, then, well, he can't come back up there. So let's go after that. All right, so if he jumps down here, well, then we can just move to here. And try and start picking these off. All right, so what are his options? He could push this e3 pawn forward. Okay, so he just decides to go that way. Well, we'll just head down to there. And it might end up being a draw. Let's see. We come forward. I don't know. It's looking pretty drawish unless he tries something crazy. And let me think. If he attacks again, we just move. What else could he try? What else could he try here? He could go down here to d8, then try and swing over here. And if he does that, then we could capture here, then try and capture here. So, if his rook moves to d8, then we just capture. Then what does he do? Does he try and check us? All right, so now he's just going to swing over to there. Do we try and pin him to the side? All right, so now that's probably good to try and keep him on the edge of the board there. Let's see what he does with that. All right. Well, now we might as well go there. Keep him pinned to the edge. I don't know, he might be just trying to run me out of time here. All right, now what will he do? Oh, if I move my king over here, there's a chance of a mate. If I could control this. If I go here, that won't work. So I guess I gotta just go back up there. All right, let's see what he does next. Oh, now maybe we have a chance if we move over here. Okay, so he decides to do that. All right, which way do we go? Which way do we go? We go after this pawn. That's probably the best thing to do. All right, we'll go after that. Okay. Now, do we just go back to there? And we'll just stay there behind that. All right. All right, go there. And I don't know, maybe it would have been better just to keep him cut off. I mean, now I guess he's just trying to run me out of time. Okay. Well, I guess if we go there, it's a draw. All right. Well, I don't know. Maybe it was 50 moves. How many moves did we have there? Let's see. No, I doubt it was 50 moves. So we must have just repeated the position. We must have had this position before. All right. Well, we'll do a quick game review. I'm not sure what I should have done. So hopefully oh my gosh. It says that I played with 97.2% accuracy and they played with 97.1. So that's pretty crazy. Let's see. I had 2 inaccuracies. So we'll have to see what those were. And they had 0. So they played everything, I don't know, pretty perfect there. Not perfect, or it would have been 100%, but let's see here. Well, it says a nice even game. Let's take a look and review together. So let's see what was going on here. All right, so they played this Tory attack, which I haven't come across that yet since I've started this quest for 2000. This might be the first time for that. So I'll have to dig into the opening book on that and see. I've rarely ever played against this Tory attack. I remember in some King's Indian defense games I played, there were some moves where you bring the bishop up here to g5. All right, so it's really blasting through these pretty quick. So we'll do an analysis after this and take a deeper look at things. Man, it is really just plowing through these moves. So it says that was a great move. This is the only move that works and you found it. So we just traded off the knight and bishop there. All right, well, man, it says it says we both played at a 2350 level. You had a pretty competitive game there. Your opponent had a good opening, but you were on another level. It was an incredible middle game by both of you. Both of you played with incredible precision in the end game. So they played with 95.7 accuracy in the opening. We played with 98. And then 96 in the middle game for them, 95.1 for us. And then 98.2 in the end game versus 98.3. So crazy close game there. All right. We'll take a look at the analysis and let's figure out what we could have done better here. So d4, knight to f6. So here we wait to see what they're going to play next. Usually they'll play c4, but here they played knight to f3, and then we get ready to fianchetto, and then possibly bring this pawn up here into the center. And maybe that's what we should have done in the beginning. And then they develop here with this Tory attack, bishop to g5 move. So we fianchetto, they just capture. And here I was debating this. It says it would have been better, to just capture with the knight, and then it doesn't break your pawns up. So, maybe that was better. Although here the computer's saying they're both about even. So anyway, I played this move because it would help control the center, help defend my king a little bit. Then my plan was to push this f pawn up to f5 and get a lockdown on this e4 square. So now they just push in the center, getting ready to develop their bishop. But the computer likes this h4 move, possibly getting ready to push forward and try and break apart my kingside pawns a little bit. All right, so I should have just castled there. But I was kind of wanting to just wait and see what they would do. I also wanted to push this pawn forward, but I don't know, maybe should I have left it there? Because then it would keep the knight out of the position. I don't know, it really limits the scope of my bishop. So if we go back, doesn't say anything about that move. Nah, it still says even after that move, the game's pretty even. So they push forward, but it says they should have gone to c4 here because now their knight's blocked in. If they went to c4, they could just develop the knight up here on c3. And the c4 pawn push would help control this important d5 square, which we now jumped onto. So it says we should have castled, and it wants them to put the bishop up here on d3 instead of e2, which is a little more passive. So we develop. Once again, it likes castling better. And now black has a slight edge here. They castle, although it wanted white to gain space on the queen side with an a4 pawn push. We go ahead and castle finally, and it says that's the best move there. And black is still slightly ahead here. All right, so they develop. It says that's good, but it still likes the pawn push to a4. We develop our rook, but a better move, it says, would be to just jump this knight up here. But I don't know, I wanted my knight here to keep their knight out of the position here. That way I could capture if they jumped in there. But I don't know, I guess, well, the knight would be blocking this f pawn, so we couldn't chase the knight away that way. We would have to, I don't know, retreat back or jump, well, probably retreat back to attack that knight and chase it out of there. Or we could ignore it and jump our knight forward here. All right, so they take control, well, not take control, but they develop the rook towards the c file or onto the c file here, where they could use that rook to fortify a pawn push from c3 to c4. And so now, let's see, I go here, and instead it recommends knight to c3, which would have helped control the square, the c4 square. So I see why it prefers that move, because now they're going to play this anyway. If my knight was already there, or maybe I could attack. Oh yeah, it looks like it would have been better just to capture here. I could have captured and then jumped my knight up here. All right, it's saying they should have just pushed forward, gaining space, and chased my knight away. So I capture, but it likes a queen capture better, which would have then attacked this pawn over here on a2, I guess. All right, so they attack. We develop our bishop, fortifying the knight. They develop their knight, but it likes h3 better. Maybe with the idea of pushing forward here at some point. All right, so we retreat, and that's an inaccuracy. And now the game has swung in white's favor here. So better would have been b6. So it looks like that move would have been better. It would keep the knight out. I think I looked at that move maybe, but I was worried about this pawn, which I would have to protect. So then it says knight to e5, jumping in here and attacking. And looks like rook to c8 would be the best move here. Rook to c8 to guard that pawn. All right, well, in the game, we had this knight to b6 move, which was an inaccuracy. They capture. getting rid of our bishop pair. So that's probably one reason why that was an inaccuracy. Now, should I have captured with the rook or the pawn? It looks like the rook capture is better. But now we have, let's see, knight to c5 attacking the rook. And best is to go to e7, which we found, which of course guards this pawn that the knight is attacking. So now the queen lines up on our king and on this pawn, so the knight can't move. So rook to b8 or a6 are the best moves. So we go to b8, but now it wants queen to c7. Interesting. All right. I'll be worried about queen to c7 because that rook would be lined up on our queen. You know, especially if they start pushing forward here and trying to, you know, attack this pawn we couldn't capture, or our queen would be under attack by the rook. So they retreat back, but g3 is preferred here. So we retreat our knight in order to help guard this e5 square. So they just jump down here. Now we have two pieces, queen and knight, piling up on this, but I don't know. Here it looks like the best move is to capture that knight, which is what we did. They capture, and now it looks like f4 is the best move, to just give up this pawn and break his pawns up and give him an isolated pawn here. All right, well, I did not do that. Instead, I go here for a queen trade. And it says that's still a good move, but it really liked that f4 move. So they capture, we capture, chasing the rook. They just retreat, but it looks like it would be better to retreat back here where the bishop is not lined up. Oh, yeah, because maybe here we could push to c4. Well, I don't know how that would help us. We'd just end up with doubled pawns here. All right. So bishop to f6 is the best move, it looks like. But instead we push forward here with an inaccuracy that swings the game in white's favor. So best would have been bishop to f6 to keep an eye on all the squares the knight could go to. And later we played f3, which just blocked our basically blocked our bishop in. So f6 would have been better, and then it looks like g3. Then we could play g5, maybe try and attack this knight at some point. All right, anyway, in the game we played b5. I was thinking by going there, I was kind of worried about this pawn jumping to a4 and then the rook jumping over here, and I wouldn't be able to push forward. So anyway, the computer is not worried about that, so maybe I shouldn't have been either. Okay, so they move here, maybe getting ready to push this pawn forward in the middle. Looks like g3 once again is what the computer likes. So we play rook to d8, but it likes rook to d7 even better. So now they push forward here to get these pawns, well, get this b pawn off of the dark squares so my bishop can't pick it off over here. So we move forward, but instead it prefers taking control of the half-open a file. So they move the rook up here to this half-open file, giving it more scope. And now it looks like instead of blocking our bishop in here, it would have been better to retreat back to e8. And from there, maybe we could swing over, fortify. We would just have more options. All right, so they go there attacking. Now, should we have immediately captured, pulling his pawn over to here? No, it says the rook move was best, and that's what we did. So now rook captures would have been best, or, well, now it's saying retreating. So now it's best to capture, which I didn't do because I was worried about his knight jumping down into the position. So if we capture, and he captures with the pawn, and then his knight tries to jump down in here. Although if he did that, I guess we could go here, but then they could just protect by pushing their pawn. All right, so anyway, we go there. Well, now the computer's saying that that's the best move. So they capture, also best. We capture with the rook, and they retreat back. But it says the wrong piece retreated, that the rook should have retreated back off of the dark squares and just help cover this A pawn. So now it likes the, oh man, I guess I kind of missed that. It likes the immediate attack of the rook, and then I could have just picked this off right here. So, but I mean, he would have recaptured. I could have attacked his rook. He would have to move back to here. And then I could pick off his knight if I wanted to. But I don't know if that would be best. I mean, I guess I could take a look at that move. So that. Then, of course, he would have to go back here to protect that knight. And it says that the best move would be f4 here. Because if they capture, then we pick off this central pawn right here. So it looks like f4 would be best. And then it's best to ignore this and play what? Knight to c2 attacking. Oh, but now we could do this. Bishop to d2 attacking. Rook to d1, then we capture with the pawn, they capture, and now they're left with this backward pawn, although they could just push it forward and chase our rook away. It looks like the only move that works in this position, though, is a5 here, which I guess keeps an eye on the knight. So the king would jump up into the center here, and then king to f7 we do likewise. Anyway, the game could have gone on like that. So let's continue back to the game. Here we just tried to activate our king. They jumped their knight forward. Now it says we should have retreated back here to d8. But instead we push a pawn forward to try and keep the knight out of the position over here on the king side. They push forward. We just protect. And it says king to e6 immediately would have been better. So their king comes up, so does ours. Once again, it really wants that retreat. I guess from here you could swing over, maybe put pressure on this side. So they attack. We ignore that. Finally, we move back here, and they capture. Now, here we capture towards the center. Is that best? It looks like the other capture is slightly better, but I was worried about his knight jumping into the position. But I don't know. It's saying we should have captured this way, away from the center, to undouble our pawns. But then if they jump down here, which it doesn't say they should do that. So I don't know. I guess we could take a look at that. Let's see. If we captured like that. Now it's saying a4 immediately is their best move, and that we should capture. they would capture, and then rook to a8, putting pressure on that pawn. But I don't know. I'd be worried about their knight jumping down into the position here. I mean, if they jumped this way, our bishop would capture. But what if they jumped here? Anyway, that's why I didn't do that. So let's finish this. It's starting to get dark in here. I apologize. Here, I'll turn on the light, but I get more glare when I do that. So at least you can see a little bit better. All right. So now b4, they push forward, although it looks like they should have pushed forward with the a pawn. So now they're stuck with this backward pawn, but they just protect it. Bishop up here looks like it's the best move, centralizing the bishop, but the game is just even right now. Here, after g4, or excuse me, after f4, it looks like best is g4, which I did not play. So g4 probably would have been better just to gain more space on the king side over here. So I guess we'll take a look at that. g4, then what? King to f2. King to f2. Then you think I would want to go over to here, try and harass over on this side, but recommends rook to b8 or king to d5. Or rook to a6. All right, well, it didn't even look at this move, jumping over here. Does that do anything? Then it looks like knight to c5 is best. Capture. Then a rook captures here. Rook to h2 check. King to e1. Oh, and then we would be able to pick this off right here. Actually, okay, it's saying that it would have been better to just go here to prevent us from being able to pick that off, because now we can't go to g2. All right, back to the game. So we had f4 being played. We captured, they captured towards the center, which is best. And now we played rook to g8 check, although it likes bringing our king up towards the center here better. So their king moves up. Once again, it wants our king to move up. They check. We capture, which is best. They capture, although a rook capture appears to be better. And now, once again, it really wants us to jump up here. But this rook move is still good. So they take control of this open file. And I don't know, that seems to me to be, well, even if we moved up here and they checked us and we moved back, they could go here. But all right, so we go over there and that's best. They check, which is best, and then we move. They jump up to there to protect. And so, I don't know, the game is just dead even now. It says the game's a draw. So we check, that's best. Going here is best. All right. We check, it says that is the best move. They move forward. Now, moving back is best to keep an eye on this pawn. And I don't know, we have this threat of the king moving here and then the rook moving and mating. But, you know, if we tried to move there, they could check us, you know, and then what do we do? And they pick this pawn off and then they go after this one. So, you know, that's probably not realistic to try and do that. So they go here. We just move away. They come back up to protect. And we just move forward. And I don't know, at this point, how many moves did we went on for another, you know, about 8 moves or so. So they move, we just kind of shuffle back and forth here. So now best is to check. Best for them is to move towards the center. Then we go here. They start moving over towards my rook. I check. So, man, all these are the best moves in the end game. They move down here because now they could threaten to maybe push forward here. You know, and then if we capture, their king comes into the game and they could start trying to push our king back and move forward and maybe go after this pawn or, you know, make progress into our side of the board. So then we just move up here and it ends up being a draw because we repeated the position 3 times, I guess. All right, so it says that's best to just go for the draw. And the game, if it continued on, let's see what they give. Moving up there, check. King starts coming after us. We move back. They move back. Okay, I don't know. Nobody's making progress like this. All right, anyway, a drawn game. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already to support the channel. Feel free to leave comments, suggestions, or any requests if there's something specific that you would like to see in future chess videos. So thank you all for watching and have a super chess day.